sent it, that cost you the game. Like, to me, that was the game.
Yeah, it was weird because the Bard came out and Cora was like, oh, I back off a little bit. And then he went back up to it. Like, more people.
You saw them all come out.
It's a clown car. People will just keep coming out of those things. And all right, let's get into draft for game number 2 here, though.
All right, the first ban is over on the TL side. They are going to continue to ban out the APA Ziggs alongside Malphite and Ambessa, while C9 taking out Ryze and Jace.
I'm feeling Taliyah here, boys. Ryze is banned out, and Orianna and Azir were already using game number 1. I really like some Taliyah combos. You know, Taliyah Vi, good old classic. Any sort of Taliyah plus AD kill jungler. To me, those types of comps, especially if you just lost a game where it was in your control for so long and you couldn't finish, I feel like that's a big priority. Rumble, though, did get through the bans this time around, so they went for the first pick on it.
So did Varus, and Varus is really strong. So that is definitely a concern. They're just slamming Varus and the Jarvan coming through. I can understand, Morgan, though. You just spent 20 minutes under your tower against Renekton, and then you lost in the team fights. And when you play that role for the team, it is so demoralizing. You don't want to play it again. You're like, I think I'd rather be in the winning side.
All right, let's see what they can follow it up with, because Rumble here definitely deserves being built around as far as the team comp does go. Jhin can be played into Varus, no problem. Your lane is fine. I don't know, though. Varus getting the recent buffs on this patch, I actually thought that those buffs on top of Varus's already like pretty high pro presence was going to mean that he was gonna be perma, 100% basically pick ban. And so we'll see how powerful it currently is, because they buffed both his Q damage for lethality build and the on hit for W.
And the interesting thing to me is that in pro, we're not seeing it top yet, but in solo queue, I feel like this thing is kind of starting to run rampant in top lane.
Yeah, it is oppressive.
Yeah, it feels like there's almost nothing you can really do in a lot of these matchups. You just kind of take it. You know, you're getting outranged, but also there's high percentage damage. You can shred tanks. You can burst you down. So I do have that kind of in the back of my mind, like, maybe Thanatos could swap that up. But we are, of course, expecting, given that it is pro play, that Sven will be piloting it.
And for my 2 cents, I also do like Aurora matchup into Rumble. So this could be theoretically a Thanatos Aurora as well.
You can have more than 2 cents. You can have as many as you like.
I'm only giving you 2 of them, though.
Oh, okay. So I'm receiving the 2 cents. I was so generous. I said you could have more cents, and you're like, no.
Like, yeah, I know.
Can we stop this senseless violence? All right, let's get into the second half of the draft here, as we do have plenty of question marks still with where these champions are going to go on the C9 side, with the Aurora and the Varus both being flexible. Over on the Team Liquid side, these are pretty hard locks for top lane, for jungle, for AD carry. So we'll see how they want to focus their bans here as the clock ticks down, and we still don't see anything other than the Sylas for C9.
Yeah, the Sylas to me always makes me think of, Malphite's already banned, but then also Alistar. If you want to play Alistar, you really do not want to be leaving that Sylas up. It is giving so much power away. There's a couple of pretty good engage champs that Sylas works really, really well at stealing their ults. Obviously, Alistar, Blitzcrank, things like this. So definitely leads me to believe C9 is looking for some more guaranteed hard engage for Vulcan.
All right, let's see what else we can round it out with, because the supports are plentiful at the moment. And again, Nico's still up as well, so there's a lot of engage options. They don't just have to go with a melee engage, although Cloud9 would like some frontline. And I think that you always want Vi plus something. You don't want like Vi to be the only, melee.
Needs a buddy.
Melee engager there. Exactly. Dive buddies are the best way to go.
Yeah, you really do need that extra bit of damage to get over the top. Of course, you have the Rumble Equalizer. Morgan can try to get in there, but having some sort of frontliner flying in at the same time could be really strong. I like the Cassio ban here, taking that away from APA. So they are thinking, like you were thinking, Kobe, that this definitely could be Aurora top as an answer into the Rumble. So trying to limit the pool here in the mid lane.
All right. What's it going to be for our 4th pick of the draft? If this does get locked in, it's throwing back to what we were talking about at the very beginning of this draft, the potential of the Taliyah when you have Ryze banned away, when you have Azir and Ori out through Fearless, and that is the pick here for C9.
And I think it's one of the best champions, for APA. When I think about how he was playing last year, I really felt like Taliyah at that time was maybe his best champion. So it's definitely going to be something that fits well for him. Jan hovering the ASOL, and you can see him leaning to the side, looking over at APA.
I mean, I'm still waiting for the tackle.
Yeah.
He said on Twitter they're gonna
Is it more likely to tackle them if they win or if they lose the series? You know,
lose.
Jan's going for like the victory bow, and he just bam, pancaked.
Yeah, APA seems like if I lose type of tackle angle. Yone gets locked in for Quid though. This guy has one of the biggest highlights of LCS of all time on Yone. So let's see, Quid Yone with a Rumble and Vi and Jin. All of this dive. This screams, Varus, I'm sorry, because you are going to have a very, very difficult time moving around at all in these team fights. That dive for the Varus is just so well constructed by Team Liquid.
Yeah, and I mean, Tahm Kench is going to keep that Jhin safe from that Jarvan, you know, coming in. You can eat him out of it. They're considering the Alistar. That was kind of my expectation based on the Sylas ban, but obviously you've seen some less powerful laners. So Rakan, to me, always kind of, I feel like scales better than the Alistar. I think you're really, really powerful in those team fights. You have a very weak laning phase. So sometimes when you're up against something like that Tahm Kench, you say, hey, I can just take a free lane. I can have that powerful engage later on. It's also really good peel when you look over and you see there's all these dive buddies coming in. There's the Yone, there's the Vi, there's the Rumble. You pop R, you run across them all, CC them all up with that charm. Can be pretty effective as far as that counter engage goes.
All right, same question as last time, except now with a brand new coat of paint. Which side of the draft are you fellas feeling more?
For me, I love dive. I think that this is just exactly what you envision when you try and get a first pick Rumble. Then you get to layer on top of a Rumble your Yone, your Vi, and your Jhin. Like, so I just feel like that is super, super well focused.
Okay.
From the Team Liquid side, the Cloud9 draft isn't bad. Though.
By the way, it's Varus top and Sven is playing Talia bot, so they actually are going to do the Varus top I was mentioning, because this is Varus top is like unlaneable. And okay, never mind. Wait, is it? Okay, I guess it was messed up in Champ Select. It was visual bug.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't look like they actually did swap those things around on my screen. In Champ Select, it was showing that they had. I guess there's some weird things going on in Champ Select with the remake last game. So we're just going to wait until we're in game and not trust what we see in Champ Select anymore.
All right, let's get into it. Game number 2. If you didn't see game number 1, by the way, you should catch up on that real quick.
Yeah, check the VOD. Put it on 8X.
That was a banger. Let's see about the follow-up here. Will part 2 deliver as well?
All right, let's check it out here. C9 up 1-0. Remember, it is best of 3s here in the Swiss stage. So let's see how the second one goes. 43 seconds into game 1. Sven muted the entirety of Team Liquid and also his own mid lane.
Nice. Ooh, I like this. Fun facts here.
That is a fun fact. That's a very fun fact.
43 seconds. Okay.
That's so funny. Probably he typed one time and he's like, forgot to mute APA.
Yup.
Let me update this.
I like how you can sometimes see when people are surprised by, you know, summoner choices. There was like 10 pings on the fact that Jan is playing barrier, and then Morgan on the other side was spam pinging the teleport for Sven. So obviously you are down that combat summoner for Sven and Vulcan, but if you can get pushed, which I expect them to be able to have here with this Varus and Rakan, then it can get really difficult sometimes. You can end up with some pretty bad bases where you're kind of lane locked. They pushed you in, then they base and TP back, and you get stuck.
All right, as we wait for the action to really start to boil here in the laning phase, we've got Kangas standing by for an interview with APA's biggest fan.
Much. I'm here with Stacy, APA's mom, who's here to cheer APA on the new team. And I got to start off, what's it like to raise a champion?
I raised him to be a champion.
So do you take credit?
Absolutely.
I think so.
Credit. Partial credit.
On a new team now, so I see you got the new gear as well. How hard was that to throw away all the Team Liquid jerseys?
It's not thrown away. It's just packed up nice and neat. It's fine. It's good. We'll shelve it for now.
Did C9 give you anything?
They gave us more than Team Liquid does.
And I did see you talking with Jack, actually, a little bit before we went live. What did Jack tell you?
That they picked the better mid laner.
I think so. Thank you so much, Stacy. She said it. Let's hear what the casters have to think about that.
I like that because there's always, you know, this issue when you get replaced on your team. Is there going to be any sort of confident stuff afterwards? But Cloud9 have been really welcoming to APA, and Small note, Cloud9 have also given me more stuff than TL ever gave me, so I think that's just, I think that's just how Jack rolls. That's just how Jack rolls.
They also did better in Kismet Cup, you know. So I mean, you're gonna be building that confidence for sure. You know, if you're able to take them down in a match like this, you know, it's a great start for APA in game 1. You know, had that big play on the Azir, champion that he's not really known for.
Ooh, Yon down to 200 HP down here, has to flash away to avoid the grand entrance from Vulcan. Core JJ tries to cover the exit here for his 80 carry. Sven with a flash forward, piercing arrow, but the heal's enough to keep Yon healthy. Now Sven could be in a little bit of danger as Jose Dioto wraps around from the side. Vulcan with a battle dance, reinforcing the rest of his team as Blabber grabs first blood, and he might just make it 2. Jose Dioto falls, and C9 comes out on top, and the early scrap.
It all starts with the 80 carry duel, and you're able to see Sven sidestepping the W from Yon. They get the advantage. Mid lane priority leaks over, and it means that APA, he always talks about loving this roaming style, and especially on Taliyah here, you know, he's able to get the advantage in mid lane to roam first. Cloud9 just clean up huge in that bot side fight.
And this is always the worst feeling. You know, you lose an early skirmish, you look across at your laner, it's a blue buff on the enemy mid laner.
Yeah.
APA getting that and the lost chapter by this early. Great trade of flashes here from Vulcan. Yon is put really, really low, and C9 have first move from mid lane, so they're just fully committing to this play. Sven flashes in, wasn't able to finish off Yon, but because APA is there first, Jose goes in, but he has got to get out immediately. Blabber is able to flash forward and, you know, takes him down. It's really just all about the prio they had through mid. Makes all the difference.
Oh, and you can see the frustration for Spawn.
Locked in, he's still locked in. And he's able to lock up Quid here. Big trade from APA. Blue buff too, so his mana is already back to full. He is feeling so good.
And we remember the beginning of the previous game. It was constantly Yon and Core JJ winning out in the 2v2s in bottom lane. It was Quid getting ahead early with the Orianna kills onto the Nidalee of Blabber. It was a great start for TL in game 1. They still ultimately don't come out with a win. And now in game 2, C9 is up over 2,000 gold just 5 minutes into the game.
And again, the reason I like this side for the team comp is that you can be so proactive. Wait a second. We have an invade from Blabber, so he's going to take away Gromp. Jose's going to find him, and APA is looking for solo kills.
Yeah, there's no way for the mid laner from Team Liquid to do anything about this. So Blabber just takes his Gromp prize. Jose Dioto is left a camp down, and C9's loving the way things are going early.
I mean, APA is blasting this mid lane right now. You know, he had spent the rest of his career all on TL, right? Now you get to have this debut on a new team against TL. He gets that kill because he had push early, and that is really starting to snowball this mid lane because Quid gets set down. He doesn't get an early Berserker Greaves buy. He doesn't get that early Vamp Scepter to try to heal through some of this damage. APA gets a blue buff, early lost chapter. You can really start to slam home that advantage in these range versus melee matchups when you have that kind of a start.
And APA as a player has always been a lightning rod for criticism on the teams that he has been on. People always looking at his champion pool, the individual plays he's making, and his whole time on Team Liquid, you know, there are people in both sides, in both camps, but always bringing up these sorts of issues, and especially going versus Quid, who basically everyone had decided is the best mid laner of the offseason. I love the interview that Kangas just did with APA's mom and how Jack was really comforted and said, yeah, we got the better mid laner, you know, straight from Team Liquid. And so this series does mean a lot for him individually, and not only was he able to roam first and make the big, you know, team play there, but now he's able to pound lane afterwards, getting all the benefits of that roam and the blue buff and everything.
I mean, 2.5K gold lead, and we are not even 7 minutes into the game. That's a crazy start.
Especially for pro play. Even in a game of solo queue, if I see a team up over 2,000 gold at 7 minutes, it's a pretty crazy start. But in pro, this is quite a mountain to have to climb up here for Team Liquid very, very early. Another nice seismic shove there from APA in the mid lane as well. Constantly hitting these onto Quid. He's up almost 20 farm 7 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and his Ziggs is his most famous champion, but I always felt like Taliyah was his second best champion. So we'll see how he plays out the rest of the game, because Taliyah with ultimate, very easily can capitalize on something like an Aurora ultimate and kind of try and roam up to that side of the map, or keep playing off of bottom side, where Sven and Vulcan will soon have their ults, high CC available, just playmaking all over the place.
I don't know if it's just me, but I've always kind of thought it was funny how much discussion there has been about APA's champion pool. Not that he's never had any issues, but it's like he came in, everyone's like, he's a Ziggs one trick. And then it's, he's an Asol one trick. And then there was the AD carry meta, he can only play Tristana and Corki. And then last year, people were talking about, well, he can only really play Talia. And it's like, okay, well, aren't we kind of adding a lot of champions in here at this point?
And it's not like this is just like no-name people saying this. Core JJ in the draw show that you did earlier this year literally made fun of it also. Yeah, it's a joke, but he's
But
making
there's a
fun
little bit of a twist of the dagger.
He said their mid laner only has 3 champions. But I guess in a best of 3, you only have to win 2 games, and 2, so
2 is less than 3.
That's enough.
All
Quick
right.
maths from Kobe.
He's got it. You're doing
plenty.
Freak proud. That's quick maths right there. Well done, buddy. Immediately, engage coming out from Hosedioto, though. They are looking for APA, but Quid might just die first. He's down to 100 HP. Both mid laners about to fall. Quid is down. Hosedioto picks up the kill, but he should die to Blabber's Jarvan right after. And the flag marks his grave. A double kill back to Blabber.
Yeah, nice try there from TL, but Blabber, right place, right time. And now it's going to be able to move up towards this top side, even put a little pressure on a Morgan, potentially grab these grubs. Morgan's doing well in that 1v1, given this counter pick that Thanatos has gone for. And Blabber off to a great start. This guy absolutely knows how to snowball games.
Yeah, Blabber, when he is snowballing, I think people don't. The only criticism they'll ever have is if he like dives too deep and like gives away a big bounty or something. But he definitely is, as you say, very good at snowballing these leads. And especially you want to play around your winning lane, your lane that has these advantages, this mid lane that's constantly chunking them out, getting health advantages. And so they are able to capitalize. It is not only those kills, but all the neutral objectives so far in the side of Cloud9, in addition to this large gold lead.
And by the end of the year, last year, I think a lot of fans were feeling like Blabber was not performing to his usual level. Game 1 of this series also very rough on the Nidalee, but now he's able to step up. Here in game number 2, the early performance has been awesome.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, he's right place, right time, makes a good play down on bot side, is here for the counter gank exactly when he needs to be. APA pumped up about that. Barely got knocked down. If he lived, that would have been devastating for TL, but still, it is a great play for them. Early Sundered Sky has gold on top of that. And a fast Sundered Sky, you are feeling so good.
Ooh, knock up off the back of the Chains of Corruption, and they take out Core JJ. Easy peasy there for C9. Nicely used with the Chains and the Grand Entrance. They brought 4 men down to guarantee they had the firepower. That's a 3,000 gold lead.
Quid at least will get the first turret plate in mid lane, so you get the tiniest of consolation prizes, grabbing some gold back for himself, but nicely done here for C9. Again, the path to victory here is very quick Dragon Soul for this team. It is kind of the strongest early objectives that you can go for, the easiest line if you are winning and if you're looking for snowballing a game where you do have an early lead. So bottom side very critical there. But with the Ocean Dragon up, they're making a mid play while the Dragon has been started up.
Yeah, Quid has to snap back down to a quarter HP already. Team Liquid only has this Drake down to about 1/3, but they might be able to still secure it. C9 at least wants to go in for a fight. Blabber is ready to challenge here for the smite. Hosedioto tries to find the opportunity to go in there, but the Drake is secured by C9. Team Liquid's got to be careful, keeping their jungler alive just by a hair of his health bar, as Sven's going to be next to die. Vulcan gets back over the wall. It's C9 taking the objective, but losing their AD carry and trade. Hosedioto escapes with 25 HP.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's incredibly good for C9. They get the Dragon. Thanatos didn't even have TP, so that could have been a total disaster for them. TL had the extra member, got 1 kill, but still lost the Dragon at the end of the day.
And I have to say, really, really good, like, patience and concentration from Blabber there. When Jose turns on you to try and suppress you, and Blabber's just staring at this Dragon, and he's still able to get that smite. He doesn't die, he doesn't give over, any extra gold here, secures the objective, like, remaining calm under pressure during Dragon smite fights is very, very big, especially with the importance of snowballing here. So, you know, anytime you see a jungler under duress, being able to get these smites is going to be big, and even bigger with the new season where they buffed up some smite damage. Once we see these things transforming here, Blabber already has his 1400 damage smite, whereas Jose is still on the 900. So it really further emphasizes farming your camps and getting your upgrades here so that you can get these.
And honestly, I really like the changes, you know, with Smite, because you also deal less damage to the dragon and the objectives, you know, as non-junglers, right? So it's harder to actually steal it away with an ability like a Varus Q or whatever.
You and me both, brother.
Yeah,
I love these changes.
I think it's great. It always feels terrible if it gets stolen away by a random spell.
Jinx rockets, dude, they're the worst.
Veigar late game. That guy's got 2 smites on basic abilities, but at pro play especially, I think it's really, really fun to kind of see that smite duel, right? Because when it's 1400 on both them and laners are doing way less to it, it's going to come down to you guys nailing your smite. And so the timing there becomes more important as a result.
Okay, Team Liquid has got to be aware that C9 is in the jungle. They are looking to steal away the blue buff. There's going to be no contest for this. TL so far behind. 2 Drakes, 3 Grubs, 3,000 gold. Not even 14 minutes into the game. I still see 14 minutes as a checkpoint because of turret plates falling for so many years at that point in the game, even though they no longer fall off.
It could be your checkpoint.
Yeah, it's my
Don't let them take that
now.
from you.
I'm always going to check in at 14 minutes into the game to see where things went. And right now, it is all C9 all the time.
We're going to get a custom graphic made. Flowers checkpoint.
That is my checkpoint now. I am claiming it. I am planting my flag here. And TL is just struggling to find a part of the map that they can plant their flag right now, because it seems like this very modest 90 gold lead in the top lane is about the biggest thing they have to write home about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's interesting because, you know, coming into this, everyone that I was talking about.
Immediately, though, it's a full send into the bottom lane, and APA is down. Nice setup there for TL. The Fate Seal does exactly that, and Quid cashes in.
So, you know, I was hosting the draw show. I talked to every coach pretty much, you know, doing interviews with them. And then I talked to a lot of the players at draw show, and everyone was telling me that they are scared of TL, that TL is the team that they want to dodge. People giving a lot of respect to Cloud9 as well, but people were all telling me, yeah, my coach just told me, just don't get TL. That's the matchup you want to dodge. But C9 coming out here, you know, happy about getting that matchup. Santos said that they were going to stomp them, in a less nice word, you know, and so far, so good. They win game 1, they're crushing it in game 2, and Cloud9 not deterred by all of this hype that has been forming around TL.
And if you 2-0, then nobody's going to know that game number 1 you were losing for most of it. And so it will look like a stomp. Look at a scoreboard.
People only remember the score lines as APA does get jumped on there by Quid, who does have the fully evolved boots with the quest. He has his Blade of the Ruined King completed. It is full build Yone. So APA does have to play with respect, despite the fact that the early game has gone so well for C9. And it's only going better from here as they go after the Rift Herald. The gold lead has shrunk from 3,000 down to about, I don't know, a little bit over 2,000 gold here. So Team Liquid at least stopping the bleeding, but the next Drake is going to be a big target because it would be soul point for C9, and Team Liquid is already putting men in the river to get early control.
Yeah, I mean, they absolutely have to stop that dragon stacking, but getting Quid in this position of power is massive. It wasn't long ago we were talking about this, you know, nearly 1K gold lead. He was getting slammed. Quid is such a playmaker. He had an incredible 2025 individually, you know, even on a team that wasn't, you know, winning championships. He was looked at as the best mid laner in the league, had some massive individual plays, got signed by TL. And these are the kind of games that when you are signing a player like this, you expect him to carry. You expect him to be able to take over, to save you in these positions.
Yep.
You got to put the eggs in the Quid basket and hope he can make it work.
Well, they're going to slam the Rift Herald egg into the Tier 1 turret basket, and all that stuff is falling all over the street because that turret is gone, gone, gone. First turret for C9 brings the gold lead closer back up to 3K, and C9 are the first ones into the river looking at their soul point Drake.
Can they get the engage here? Team Liquid, they're looking for it.
Okay, Jose Dioto going to be in some danger. Blabber wanted to go in, but Jose stays away. Now the follow-up engage in the core JJ, but an equalizer down over the top. Jose re-engage after Blabber. They're looking to burst down the C9 jungler, but Jose dies first. Both junglers out of the picture, but Morgan is also gone. It's a 2-for-1 favoring C9, and APA wants 3. Quid continuing to try to escape into the bottom lane. Thanatos goes over the wall. A little bit more damage is all they need, and Thanatos goes on a killing spree. C9 win a clutch fight, 3-for-1. 1. Their jungler might be dead, but they'll be happy with the outcome of the battle.
That was a clean chase. He got the slow, and it's enough for them to chase down the extra kill here. Here, look, the idea to go for the kill on the enemy jungler, but immediately get the shove.
Watch the counter engage from Vulcan. He's just standing right on his carries. As soon as Quid goes forward, he is in position to just turn this around, goes immediately back in, insta charm on 3 members from TL, bounces the charm over on a core, so he can't devour his carries to actually save them. That was beautiful from Vulcan, really making it impossible for Quid to do anything in this fight.
And I feel like that's a great contrast to what we were levying some criticism towards in game 1, with the Tempered Fates not being on the money in the early fights from Vulcan. This time around, having that ulti impact, big.
Oh, man, to do it.
Yeah, we can go from base.
It will take 40 years.
We can go from base.
Actually does take 40 years. All right, right back out onto the map here. Team Liquid, they sent multiple members top side to ensure that Quid can maybe get some turret plate money. Core JJ up here trying to shadow him because they know, all right, yeah, we still need to put as much money into this Yone as we can. Like, they're still hoping, Azale, that Quid basket is,
It's looking rickety.
Even though it doesn't have a lot of gold in it, you still got to try and get more into it.
It's the best basket you got, You don't really have a lot of options here. But it is so tough dealing with Vulcan CC because there's nothing you could dodge. I mean, you have all of this great mobility here as Quid, but Vulcan is going to press R and jump on your head and you are charmed. Like, there's no avoiding that.
And I feel like it's exactly what you guys were talking about in the draft, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get punished in lane. We clearly saw that in the early game. And now that Rakan is ready to run rampant. Thanatos tries to escape here in the bottom lane, goes between worlds. vods.lcs has no opportunity to make a truly impactful play there. Instead, they will just force their opponent back. It'll allow Morgan to take the tier 1 turret at least. But meanwhile, C9's doing the same thing on the other side of the map. So even trade tier 1 for tier 1.
When you're behind, you always feel pretty good about that, but we've talked a lot about the supports. These are the supports by age. There's some pretty massive discrepancies now in the LCS from the oldest, most experienced players to some of the youngest. We have obviously some of the most experienced players here. Vulcan, not yet 27, but has been playing in the LCS for so long. Core has been around since back to when he was on Dignitas as an 80 carry before he went to Korea and won a world championship. So, these guys have a tremendous amount of experience at this point, and Core, aging like fine wine, he's playing well these days, but it is Vulcan definitely getting the best of him in this game.
We got some birthdays coming up on there. There was some 0.8s, 0.9s in there. There must be some early
Somebody's birthday is today too. I remember.
Inspired.
Somebody somewhere.
Yeah, maybe just our MVP from last year.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, might be that guy. But anyway, Yon's the target now. Cataclysm comes down on top of his head. The damage just pours in. One more auto attack from Blabber gets it done. EQ backwards towards the rest of the team to make sure he can escape safely. Equalizer summoned up to clear out the wave, but Team Liquid won't do much more than that. Morgan now could be the target. He has to try to escape through the slow coming out from Thanatos with the between worlds. He's overheated. He's slowed by the weirding again. APA setting up the rocks, but a nice escape thanks to Core means that Morgan survives.
I mean, technically, meanwhile, Quid is making money still here for TL while they're, Cloud9 are chasing Morgan around the jungle. So they're still trying. They're funneling as much as they possibly can into the split push here for Quid for the Yone. 2 items currently for him, and trying to create a feasible Dragon Soul team fight. It's going to be hard. It is definitely going to be hard, but you have to get that really dream engage here to try and get an assassination. I would say onto Sven. Sven has definitely been a big issue from the backside of these team fights. This lethality, Varus, as we said on the new patch, did get some extra little bits of buffs there, and it has been pretty annoying long-range damage for them to deal with.
It is really frustrating, and clearly I think we know a fight that's going to be a win for TL has to start out with a one-shot on Sven. The problem is, when you're this far behind, usually you can't just have like one person kill someone. Everyone has to send it. So then you have 3 or 4 melee stacked up, and that's where Vulcan becomes so damn powerful.
Ooh, Thanatos taking a lot of damage here from Quid.
Close.
Nearly dies with the pseudo deathmark snapback from the Soul Unbound. But it's Quid here at 400 HP. Does have the Q3 to dash over the wall. He'll be fine escaping on that one. vods.lcs is hanging around the area in case somebody from C9 was there to try to snipe the last little bit of the kill. Critically though, gentlemen, it's not the top side of the map that matters at all right now. It is is less than 60 seconds until the Drake spawns. That is Soul. That is Hex Tech Soul if C9 secures it. Absolutely massive power spike just 23 minutes into the game.
Nightmares are made of Hextech Soul Lethality Varus, by the way. Sven Poke is already doing tremendous amounts of damage, and it's also going to slow you, and he's going to land his next little bit of poke that much easier, so.
We do have all 5 Unleashed teleports ready on the map right now. Remember that C9 does have that extra map-wide utility there through Sven taking that non-combat summoner spell. Thanatos going to keep the pressure on the mid lane while Team Liquid tries to show up to contest this early positioning on the bottom side river on the Dragon Pit.
Look at him. He already lost like 30% of his HP. That's just 1 Q from Varus. If you get tagged again, they pretty much can't fight. So that is the difficulty of dealing with this Varus. And look at the APA setting up for an ult.
And Morgan is so far away right now. Rumble is showing on the mid wave. So Cloud9, now they need the teleport to come in. Here we go.
All right, let's see how it's going to go. Morgan tries to get in there. APA immediately fires off the wall. C9 going to stop DPS here from the Drake right now. Blabber with the engage onto the Cataclysm. Chains of Corruption does not hit a target here to follow up, but the curtain call is already open. Drake going to be secured by the side of Team Liquid. No Soul just yet, but what about the fight? Thanatos coming in, wants to fire off a 2-fold Hex, but the weirding only hits Morgan. Now Jose Vioto's down to 200 HP. Blabber on the front line. Jose's already down as Core tries to get away. Blabber's still chasing, and Core JJ's next to die. Yawn meets the business end of Blabber's spear, and C9's already picked up 3. They're not done yet. You're going to see Thanatos go for the recall, but he has teleport to join up with the rest of the team if he needs to. Nearly a 7,000 gold lead. Baron's going to be the target here for C9, even though they lose out on the Soul.
Morgan is able to burn down the Dragon by some miracle there for Team Liquid, but because you lose so many members, Cloud9 are going to try and finish the game with a Baron buff here. This thing should be guaranteed unless Quid truly is magical and create something out of nothing here.
All right, Quid, this is anime protagonist or bust at this point, and it looks like it's bust. All right, C9, they will happily not achieve a Soul if they can get a massive team fight win into a Baron 7,000 gold lead, C9.
I mean, it is just almost impossible to come back from this point. You have to think Blabber now finishes up the GA. He is way ahead.
Careful, Kobe, we can go for it a little bit. No, he carry this choke. I don't have vision, I don't have vision. I'm going for it, I'm going for it, I'm going for it. I'm going for it no matter what. I'm going for it no matter what.
I love it. I'm going for it no matter what. And here on the top side now, Quid is in some serious danger. He has to snap back, but he's immediately thrown back on to those stones that'll mark his grave. C9 picking up another one. Enemy mid laner down for 35 seconds.
I love that confidence in the comps listening in from APA. You know, the new guy on the team, as we saw in the content, you know, his mom making a presentation for him and him giving multiple presentations to the team, but now Blabber's in.
Yeah, Blabber's already dropped the Cataclysm. Jose Vioto wants to try to turn the aggro back around onto Sven. The Varus is under some pressure, but not any longer. The rain of arrows over the top. Jose is low, flashes back over the wall, but Morgan's going to die. APA on a killing spree, and Team Liquid are on the run. Health bars are shattered. Morgan is broken, and Quid is still yet to respawn. The C9 aggro continues.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a long respawn timer on Morgan. Even if they don't end the game right here, they're just ballooning this gold lead even further, and they are TPing in for this. They're going to grab the mid lane and hip. They already took down that top lane T2. Question is, do they go for the top lane tier 3? And it looks like that is going to be the answer.
And they've already got the wave here. Why not cash in a little further? Morgan still dead for another 10 seconds. C9 continuing their pressure. The top lane inhibitor turret will be taken, and it looks like the call is to back away. They know Morgan's spawning in 5 seconds. They don't want to overstay their welcome. They've got 11,000 gold, and a lot of that's ready to be spent right now. C9 head home.
Yeah, the damage has been done. Cloud9 claim full supremacy on the Rift. TL, they need that real magic now. You got to be like 5 people in a brush and hope that somebody's out of position. You got to be praying.
It is going to be tough. Cloud9, though, feeling great about their new look debut. Looking to try to put the finishing touches onto this one. Bringing in the new coaching, the addition to the coaching staff here with the Narrow and I Will Dominate being there for the team.
And I remember last year, Anero talking about how, yeah, the first couple of games, my drafts are great. It's after that where Fearless starts to get the better of me. Hey, this is game 2. If you're playing best of 3s and you can give me 2 good ones, that's good enough. And
That'll get her done.
C9 are looking to take this one here. That tier 2 turret in the bottom lane is going to fall. An 11,000 gold lead. The Baron still on him for now as Blabber goes forward. Cataclysm on Core JJ forces him to flash away over the wall. Ult for flash there. It's going to feel just fine as now that Baron is finally going to wear off. C9 thinking about how they want to keep this one going. They've got less than a minute until the dragon spawns, so control over this bottom side of the map is going to help them one way or the other.
Yeah, they're going to go about this the safe way. No need to rush into an ending play where there's even any chance that you possibly throw the game away. Just wait for the Dragon Soul to come up. Yes, the Dragons are like tankier now in the new season when you have multiple earlier ones taken, but that's not going to be a problem at all. So just get complete vision leading up to the Dragon. You know Team Liquid will be squirming and feel the pressure and make them come to you.
And I mean, Yana and Quid aren't even close to getting their IEs. They're both on no gold. They just bought. Yana is doing no damage. When he is hitting Blabber, it is just not even moving his health. And one Varus Q is doing about 50% of Yon's HP.
And when you look at the junglers, their first 2 items were identical, but now Blabber is up an entire Guardian Angel over his counterpart in Jose Diodo, and that is a tough, full item to be behind from Jose Diodo's position. C9, they're going after the Dragon. Yon and Core are already chunked down to half HP. C9 is slow DPS on this Drake. They're waiting to see if it's a fight against TL they're going to take instead. Quid gets away here with a Fate Sealed for now. Between Worlds, not going to get it done from Thanatos, but a nice seismic shove means Core JJ is out of there. Quid still trying to run away. He goes into the Soul Unbound to buy himself a little bit of extra time. But with Core already out of the picture, C9's got a Soul in a 5v4. Yon continues retreating. Thanatos wants to tag him with the weirding, but he doesn't have the range, doesn't have the angle. C9 continuing pressure now into the enemy base.
Yeah, this should be the game here. Morgan's going to lay down the equalizer to clear the wave, though. Really smart, since the other wave that Cloud9 would want to use is bottom side right now and moving over. So they're actually going to force the recall here. TL, they buy themselves a little bit more time.
Yeah, the difficulty for TL, though, is they used all of their playmaking tools in a losing fight there. Quid just used his ult, his flash, and his QSS in a fight where they got nothing, right? And he is the only one who's even kind of close as far as the gold leads are concerned. I mean, just look at this down the middle. Those gold leads are absolutely enormous. I mean, Zen has 4 fully completed items. Yon doesn't have 3 yet.
Morgan is running for his life at the moment.
That life might be forfeit. Gentleman Morgan slowed down by the smite, followed by the slow from the golden Aegis. Seismic shove forces the flash, which means the Jarvan EQ can follow and guaranteed hit the target. Morgan's about to die between worlds. Lost in the abyss goes the poor little mechanical Yordle as Team Liquid now scrambles to defend their Nexus with the remaining 4 players. Quid is still down in the bottom lane. He's got to get back to the base. He has no teleport to join quickly. The recall's got to be channeled because C9 are pushing onto the Nexus turrets. The first one's already about to die, and Weaver's wall is going to guarantee that Team Liquid cannot defend the way that they want to. Jose Diodo dives in, but he's all alone. Second Nexus turret is about to fall as Thanatos takes a little damage from Quid, but it will not matter. Blabber with a re-engage. Core is the target, and they switch the focus over. They knock down Quid, and C9 with a triple kill for the new mid laner makes quick work of Team Liquid 2-0.
They took TL's mid laner, and they're going to take first place in the LCS.